IVM.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Hello! Welcome to another awesome episode of IVM Likes. I'm your host Antariksh Thakkar, joined by my co-host Snehil Aneja.
Hello everyone. Hello.
Namaste yaar. Bas
Namaste.
first class. Arre. What's happening, man? How are you?
All good, yaar. Actually,
May the 4th be with you. Let me just say.
Yes, exactly.
That is such non-nerds of Star Wars.
We'll start
we talk
the episode with this and we'll end the episode also with this.
Yeah, correct. We'll end the episode on May 4th only. just for the sake of it. On today's episode, as you might have already guessed, we are talking about all things Star Wars with the Star Wars super nerd Abbas Momin, who will be joining us right after this very short break. So please stay tuned and we'll be right back.
What is the workplace and how does your gender and body affect your right at work? Hey, I'm Priya Mirza, and on the Longest Constitution podcast, we critically examine the vision of the Indian Constitution and laws. In season 1, we looked at sex, gender, sexuality in India, and the landmark judgments which transformed our rights as citizens in this country. In season 2, we discussed the laws which shape the workplace and examine how ability, competence, and merit impact us, and much more. Join me, Priya Mirza, every Wednesday only on the IVM Podcast app, website, and all the major podcast streaming platforms.
And we're back. Abbas.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Momin. How are you doing, man?
I'm
Momin
good.
DeLorean.
Yes.
That was your handle for a while on Twitter, if I'm not
It
wrong.
was, yes. It was when the first season premiered.
Yeah,
And
it
I was
was.
really excited about it.
Did you think of that? Did someone say that, the Momin DeLorean thing?
No, they did not. But once I met someone in real life who was following me on Twitter, and I went up to them and I was like, hey, I know you from Twitter. And she was like, oh, yes, Momin DeLorean. I was like, okay. I have a name,
Nice.
but
It's
sure.
gonna be Masoka Tano soon. What's Ahsoka show about? Yeah, are you excited for the Ahsoka show?
I am very much, yes. Ahsoka was my favorite non-movie Star Wars character for the
Absolutely,
longest
dude.
while.
She was badass
Yeah.
in the Clone Wars series,
Yes.
the anime shows.
And they did real justice to her for in the live action show
She's
as well.
played by
in Mandalorian by Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
God damn, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah. If there are non-fans of Star Wars listening, they've tuned out already. So
Yeah. Abbas, when
Yes.
did you actually get into Star Wars? And from which movie? Was it from a movie?
I'll tell you exactly when. In 2002.
Yeah.
Around this time, actually, around April, May. I'll tell you why.
Oh, yeah.
Because episode 2 was about to release in 2002. Yes. So episode 2 was gonna open on a Friday. And what they were doing to build up to the release was Star Movies was going to screen each Star Wars film from Monday to Thursday
Oh, cool.
up till that point. So
Yeah.
Monday they would play the first one, the one that came out in 1977, which is now known as episode 4.
Yeah.
So they'd play episode 4, 5, 6. And then on Thursday they'd play episode 1, Phantom Menace, and then Friday episode 2 would open.
So like order of release.
Order of release, yeah. Which I'm extremely thankful for Star Movies because everybody is very confused about where do I start watching Star Wars
No,
movies.
start with 77, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but then that movie is called episode 4. So people are like, why
that
should I
is-
start with 4,
that is,
right?
yeah. And having to explain to people, oh no, that's the prequel series. Sorry,
Exactly,
that's the sequel
yes.
series. But that is like beforehand.
Here's
like,
the
this whole
interesting part, right? They did I think a full page ad in Times of India. This is 2002, so I was 14 years old, all right? And I did not know much about Star Wars, and we'll come to that later. I knew Star Trek. I knew that on Doordarshan in the morning on Sunday or Saturday they play this
Man,
show.
Just
where-
because you said this, let me just remind you. Just today at work, okay, we're talking to a co-worker of ours about Star Wars, okay, and she puts out this Star Wars, right? Like the one thing you're not supposed to do, the most common cliche thing. She does it like honestly, like not knowing.
And then she says,
The Spock, live long and prosper thing.
Luke ka dad hai na?
See, not joking, dude. This
Disney,
person was
please
not-
hire her to write a crossover. But so I saw the full page ad and I was like, Star Wars, acha, that thing where they are roaming around in a spaceship, or, with a crew. Oh yeah, I remember that. I want to watch it. Okay. And then I think 8 p.m. they screened the movie, and I sat down at 8 p.m. and it started with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Suddenly there was this huge, horns blaring.
Yeah.
And the title came up. I'm like, I don't remember it starting like this, but I was instantly hooked. Okay. And then for the next 2 hours, I did not get up in front of the TV. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, that was the best 2 hours of my life. I want to see the sequel was being screened tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was like, so the rest of the week, 8 o'clock, I sat in front of the TV, saw all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't go for the episode 2, which was a theatrical release, because us time pe, even though I was 14, my parents would not let me go to watch a movie alone. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I eventually saw episode 2 also on a DVD, and episode 3 was the first time I ever watched a Star Wars film in a theater.
Oh.
But that week was the week which changed everything for me.
But
I
same
was
for
like,
me. I watched episode. That was the first Star Wars movie I saw in the theater. Episode 3. Yeah.
So for me, everything about that film, even though it came out in the 70s, and I was watching it in 2002, it had already been 25 years, but it didn't feel like it had aged even a day. All the stories, the music, the dialogues, the characters were all so fresh. But I was like, yeah, this is my thing now. I want to do everything with Star Wars.
Okay,
Actually, I also started watching Star Wars essay. So, obviously, my first movie was The Force Awakens.
Okay.
And
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
First movie you ever saw in your life. Wow. Nice,
Wars.
man.
So
At the age of 17, 18, he's watching his first movie.
so there was this friend of mine who was a huge Star Wars fan. तो he was like, हम ये Force Awakens देखने जाएंगे ही जाएंगे. And I was like, मैंने तो एक भी मूवी नहीं देखी है इससे पहले. He's like, देख. So Saturday, Sunday को I did Star Wars का marathon, and एक के बाद एक I saw all the movies, and I was like, इस यूनिवर्स से निकलना ही नहीं है मुझे बाहर कभी. मुझे बस अब दिखा दो Force Awakens में क्या है. But then क्या था वो तो.
Yeah.
But how old were you when you saw these in 2015?
I was 17.
You were 17. Antriksh, how old were you when you saw the films
I
for the
was.
first time?
It was in the holidays of my
10th
of my 10th standard. After that,
So,
after my 10th standard.
so around 12, 13, right? Or 14, 15.
Yeah, around 14, 15.
Yeah, so I think it's a very adolescent thing. I think Star Wars is best when you're on the cusp of adolescence. I'm yet to meet anyone who
got into adulthood.
who saw the movies in their early 20s or early
Okay.
30s and fell in love with it. They were like, "Ha, theek hai, it's fun, it's adventurous." It's a very peculiar, if I may even say, male kid thing, even though a lot of girls also are now watching it and loving it.
For sure.
But for years, I think it's a very, and George Lucas himself has said this, that it
Like a
was made
wonderment
for
thing,
12-year-olds, where they are about to go into adulthood.
Yeah,
where
there's a
you're
little green old child.
you're going to leave the comfort of your parents, you're going to meet new people. So how do you know the people who you are going to form an attachment with than those who you should be a little aware of? So yeah, it's a very adolescent thing, I think.
I'm going to show you guys something. I'm not going to tell you what this is, but you have to guess what movie is this the opening for.
Star Wars?
No, it's the Indian. Basically, you'll see the opening sequence, and you'll see they've basically copied this entire sequence of Star Wars in the worst way possible. Okay, what I'm showing them right now is a title sequence with the text going like the Star Wars text, but behind them they're like wormholes and like asteroids and like all this.
But the names are all foreign names.
Is this
Oh no,
Rudraksh?
Anupam Sharma is
Anupam
not
Sharma,
a foreign name. But do you know the opening to Star Wars is also a ripoff
From where?
from Flash Gordon? What? Yes, there was a Flash Gordon serial in 1936 which started like that.
Okay, wow.
And George Lucas, Star Wars is essentially George Lucas's tribute to Flash Gordon.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I did not know that at all,
Yeah.
man. Okay, chalo, jaldi karo. What do you think?
This is from Rudraksh. Oh.
No, it's not.
Dialogue Javed Siddiqui.
Okay, you guys are not gonna get this. This was
Love Story 2050.
actually you'll get it. Keep guessing.
Can you tell me the year?
Okay, really? Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay. I can do that actually.
It's not an A-grade film, I know for sure.
Oh, okay. I think it's pretty high.
Okay,
for
what
me,
year?
Pretty good. 2013.
2013.
Yeah. It's a very famous movie. Very, very famous movie. One of
Really?
the first of its kind in India.
Are you being sarcastic?
No. Maybe not even the one of the first of its kind in India. It was groundbreaking for its time.
For its time, as in it's like 9 years ago.
Yeah. Oh wait, that can't be right. Eh? 9 years ago? No, that can't be right.
Maybe
just check.
2003.
Oh, yeah, it is 2003.
Okay.
कोई मिल गया.
Is it
Yeah,
Koi Mil Gaya?
it is
What?
Koi Mil Gaya.
Koi Mil Gaya?
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I've seen Koi Mil Gaya in a theater also. I don't remember this.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love.
that's
Oh,
the-
nice.
that's-
ठीक
isn't that
है.
crazy?
So Koi Mil Gaya ripped off E.T. and Star Wars
Like anything sci-fi.
and Space Jam because they play
They play
basketball.
basketball. They do play basketball. Oh shit. Oh god.
धूप.
God. So like I know you have a lot of T-shirts with Star Wars, different artwork. Of Star
I've
Wars.
given Lucasfilm a lot of money. Yes.
Oh no, these are not.
These are official,
Official?
merchandise. Yes.
These are official Star Wars
So
merchandise.
that's one of the good things that happened when Disney bought over Star Wars, right?
Huh.
Disney has a presence in almost every country, okay,
Yeah.
including India.
Yeah.
So now merchandise, Marvel, Star Wars merchandise is as easily available
Yeah.
anywhere and affordable as
Okay.
as
Like how much?
as anything else.
How much for a T-shirt?
Like, I've bought this for like $5.99.
Okay, right
Whereas
now you're wearing a
before
T-shirt
this-
of R2D2 and Baby Yoda. Yeah.
Whereas before Disney's takeover, you would not find a Star Wars T-shirt below like
Exactly.
1,500, 1,600
damn.
भाई
bucks.
दिल्ली में सुभाष नगर रजौरी गार्डन जैसे एरियाज में डिज्नी के स्टोर्स हैं भाई.
Huh, exactly.
Proper stores.
What is the one thing Disney is known for? Merchandise. That's
That's
the
true.
one
That's
thing
their
they
aim.
they pump
Yeah,
to the
that's-
kids. Yeah.
So, how many T-shirts do you think you're on?
Star Wars T-shirts.
And do you have like hoodies and all also?
No, I don't have hoodies because I live in Bombay, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right now we live sitting in a very cold
We have
AC
caps,
room. I don't have
hats.
caps, but I have around I think 21 or 22 Star Wars T-shirts.
God damn, dude.
Oh.
Dude, I have.
I have
so,
two.
So my
One T-shirt and one hoodie. That's
my
it.
my friends have already like in my colleagues, okay, everyone has seen me in all the clothes I wear already.
Right.
Okay, these are like 5 pair of clothes. I keep rotating my shirt. I keep rotating whatever my jeans and all. It's the same.
Uh-huh.
You're saying you have 20-25 of just Star
Just
Wars.
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars. Yeah, but I don't
T-shirts.
have much of other stuff. Like most T-shirts I have, like 70% of my T-shirt catalog is Star Wars.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen you with some Marvel. And all
Yeah,
that.
the rest 15% is Marvel and the
Marvel.
rest is other
So
other
I
stuff.
bought इसका मैंडलोरियन का हुडी. I was like ये हुडी पहन के मैंडलोरियन देखूंगा. तो मैंने हुडी पहले खरीद लिया और अभी तक मैंडलोरियन नहीं देखा.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. Okay, so you talked about Disney acquiring Marvel. Sorry, Star Wars. Disney acquired Star Wars, and Marvel also they acquired. Since then.
Yeah.
What do you? Okay, since I talked about Marvel also, what do you think of Marvel printing, publishing the current Star Wars comics? Do you ever get a chance to read those?
No, so Marvel also published the very first Star Wars comics ever in existence,
Like back in the day,
which came
omnibuses and
out in
They were called
1970.
Omnibus, no? Star Wars Omnibus or something.
So all of those collected together
Yeah.
is the omnibus.
Yeah.
But in 1978, a few months after the film release, so the film was a massive success, which
Yeah.
was not predicted by
Dude,
anyone.
So back in this is crazy, man. My dad, it released in India after like a
It
month
did,
of
yeah,
releasing
yeah,
there.
yeah.
My dad saw it in the theater back in '77.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? Like what? I can't even believe that shit, dude.
But I've
And
always-
it did not change my dad's life. I'm
We
like, I'm
should-
so disappointed in you, Dad.
We should actually get your dad on the show because
He won't
because
remember.
I'll tell you why. I've always wondered why Star Wars never broke in India,
Hmm.
and people have always said, "Kare, that time Sholay was such a big hit that it was still in the theaters. Emergency had, I think, it's still going on or had just wrapped up. So there were all these things, and obviously in that time, Hollywood films did not release the same day and date in India. They sometimes release like
Yeah.
months, sometimes years later. All right.
Yeah.
And the whole concept of a fandom, like also English films, Hollywood films back then were only the media for the elite. मतलब हर जगह नहीं लगती थी Hollywood film. So it'll be interesting to have that conversation with your dad.
I'll
What did
ask
he
him.
think of it when he saw it?
He
And how
said,
old
like,
was he?
He was must have been young, only like 10, 12. or
Okay,
something, yeah.
Oh, the perfect age to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like. So I remember he thought it was okay, good film.
Wow.
But he wasn't
hard audience to please your dad.
It didn't change his life or anything.
He's like ठीक है but गब्बर ने क्या बोला वो बताओ.
So, dude, I literally just right now, someone was telling us in the office, telling Snail and me that there is some relation between Sholay and Star
Sholay
Wars.
and Star Wars. Do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay,
what is
we'll have
it?
to find this. So we try to find it. And someone said
Gabbar
either
Amitabh
one
का
of
बाप
those
तो नहीं होता.
is copied from the other one. Like story wise, I'm like, there's no relation, there's no father
See, I
son
mean,
relationship at all.
if you want to break down the
Then most
basic
stories
structure,
are like all there.
then it is. I mean,
Some
Luke and
Shakespearean
Han Solo can be seen as the Jay and Viru, even though they're not like childhood friends.
तो
but-
वही मैं बोला ना, मतलब अगर जब तक गब्बर अमिताभ का डैड नहीं है तब तक
Leia is
exactly.
Basanti. I got it.
Gabbar is the Darth Vader. Sure, you can make that comparison.
Yeah.
But I was telling you, so in 1978,
But
the
Palpatine
first
would be Darth Vader. Sorry, would
Palpatine
be,
comes
would be
later.
Thakur or
that's still the sequel.
Gabbar or
The 77 film did not have any.
oh yeah,
any
Thakur would be
Thakur would be
Obi-Wan.
Yoda. Yoda, bro.
Obi-Wan.
Thakur would be Obi-Wan. Yes.
Yeah, or Yoda.
And who would be R2D2 and C3PO? Asani would be C3PO.
और R2D2 would be that Dhanno.
Oh yeah.
The
There
horse.
you go. No
The
dialogue.
horse, yeah.
No dialogue, but still integral part of the movie.
Yeah, correct.
So I was
Yeah.
saying the Marvel we used to publish the Star Wars
Huh.
comics in the 70s as well, and then the rights went over to this company called Dark Horse, and
Dark
then
Horse,
when
yeah.
once Disney got it back, because Disney now owns Marvel, obviously they started.
Why did Dark
printing.
Horse sell it?
I mean,
Like big-
because
big
Disney
money.
bought over the company, so
Oh, they bought
had
Dark Horse
to-
also owned by them now.
No, Dark Horse had to let go of the rights of Star Wars
Oh,
because
okay.
Disney has brought them over.
Oh, okay.
So,
got
yeah.
it, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Just
Dark Horse
publishing
also-
rights, I'm not an expert, only an expert in Star Wars.
Fair enough. So have you ever gotten a chance to read some of these comics?
I have, yes. I mean, the outside of the comics, the Star Wars storylines are crazy because
Yeah.
in a pre-internet era, if you wanted more stories, comics and novels were your only outlet, right?
Yeah.
So there have some insane stories that have emerged out of these. There's one book series which only deals with like Chewbacca and his family and their
Yeah,
adventures.
Correct.
There is one novel series where there's a character called Wedge Antilles in the first film. He's in the film for like 2-3 minutes in a cockpit as a pilot. There's like some 20 books which only deal with his and his
wow.
battalion of fighters.
Oh, that's
So
so cool,
yeah, the Star Wars expanded universe is crazy. So
Dude,
I have
it
read
is. Yeah,
some
so
of them.
like about a couple of years back, I had really gotten into like a YouTube deep dive where everything recommended to me was just like something Star Wars related, right?
Right.
And it would be like all these like obscure references of like Darth Annihilus and Darth this
Right,
one and Darth
right.
that, and all these like cool Sith figures that I had no idea existed. But their artwork is so
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
the character
yeah.
design is so cool, and their powers and their feats and all are so amazingly done. And all. It's like
You
very
mean
captivating.
their
dude.
feet? The
Feet.
feet?
Their feet.
That's a very weird fetish, Antariksh. You Google Star Wars feet.
Feetish.
The lightsabers. I want to see the
Correct.
feet.
Yeah. I was gonna ask something dirty, but then I realized why.
Is IVM like PG now?
No, I mean it was never really, but
Exactly.
doesn't have to be. But I can't talk about.
No,
what I
let
was
me.
gonna talk
It's
about.
okay, Antariksh.
What do you think of? Okay, I know this was like a huge point of contention with fans at some point, which was the special edition CGI re-edits of Star Wars, with Jabba the Hutt being a full
Right.
CGI recreation.
So the movies that I'm talking about that Star Movies screened for the first time in order to for
Were-
the build up
were the special editions.
were the special
Were the
editions.
special
Oh, okay.
editions.
So those were the first ever Star Wars I saw. So I didn't even know there's a version which is not this, right?
Yeah.
It's only later on when I came to know in the early days of the internet Han shot first. I was like, what is Han shot
Han
first? Do you know
shot?
what Han shot first is? Do you know?
Yeah, I
Antariksh?
know Han shot first.
Yeah, so
This is at the
essentially
cantina, yeah.
in the first movie there is a scene where Harrison Ford's character is sitting across the table with an alien, and they're talking about a deal which did not go through. And in the 1977 version, Han Solo shoots the alien and walks off because that's his character. He's this rogue anti-hero.
Yeah.
In the specialized editions, the director changed it to make it seem like the alien shot him first, and in defense he shot him back. Right?
Oh.
So a lot of fans were like, कि तुम वो character
हुए
का
वो. हाँ.
Character का, हाँ,
anti-hero
वो
जो
change कर दिया.
badass,
Exactly.
because in the spoiler alert for a movie that came out 45 years ago,
Yeah.
in the end Han Solo actually becomes good, where he comes to the rescue of the good guys.
Yeah.
So that's when I came to know, oh, okay, so the footage has been, modified with, and George Lucas made a lot of CGI inclusions and all of that.
Yeah.
So where do I stand? Of course, now that I'm aware of both the versions, I prefer the original versions. But then for a 14-year-old kid who saw it for the first time, it did not matter. The magic of the movie still holds. So yeah, for me,
I remember there's a part where Han Solo is talking to Jabba the Hutt,
yeah,
and there's a point where he walks around Jabba.
yeah.
And in the CGI special edition edits, he walks apparently over Jabba's tail. Or whatever it is.
yes.
And like how Jabba makes like a face like, oh my god, he's over my tail, right?
And
But
but
it's not
actually,
in the original at all.
that's a testament to
And because they wanted to do that, they have to actually digitally erase,
make him jump, make him
walk
seem like
steps.
he's walking.
Yeah, walking
That's
on
what I was
steps,
saying.
yeah.
I mean, that's a testament to all the footage he's actually shot in camera on set has aged beautifully. Like I
That's
said,
true.
even if it was shot in 77, but the stuff that he modified in 2002 seems like bad Photoshop because it's like, you know, you know, technology ages much worse than real stuff that you shoot. Like that's an example of that.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Why do you think it lasted this long then?
Like I said, the themes are very universal. It's about young people going on a journey. It's about good versus bad. And there is that whole essay, right? I forget the name of the writer, but Star Wars is like a modified version of Joseph Campbell's Hero with 1,000 Faces. I think that's what it's called, where it's essentially there's this 6 steps that there's a hero's journey of going on a journey, getting a call for conflict, going through the conflict, and then the conflict changes you, right? Which we call a story arc. In whatever story we see, any book, any movie, we want the character at the end to be different from how we started with them, right?
Correct, yeah.
And Star Wars is a perfect example of it. Any Star Wars story that you pick up, whether it's the movies, whether it's the books, whether it's the shows, it's all essentially about that young person going on a quest, the quest changing him or her, and them coming out as a better person on the other side of it. So yeah, that's a very, and then you put in aliens.
Unless you're
and-
Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
There is growth. There's character growth.
There is character growth, but in the other direction, yes. Then you put in your chase sequences and spaceships and aliens and lightsabers and you're like, yeah, I want this. So it's just a perfect amalgamation of fantasy, science fiction, and
it's been so legendary
sense.
that, you know, sitcoms like How I Met Your Mother, Friends, The Big Bang Theory, they have active references to Star Wars. So in How I Met Your Mother, Ted and Marshall actually वो ये बोलते हैं कि ये लड़की तुमसे शादी सिर्फ तब कर सकती है जब इसको Star Wars पसंद आएगी. And अगर उसे Star Wars नहीं पसंद तो वो लड़की rejected.
Yeah, this is Stella's character. This is
Stella's
played by
forgetting
the actor's name, but yeah.
And Barney has a life-size
Stormtrooper in his apartment.
Friends में Ross and Chandler have that Princess Leia fantasy.
One of my favorite lines ever from How I Met Your Mother was so Barney busts into the apartment, okay, and he goes, "I'm going down." Whatever, like I'm going to paraphrase, but it's something like, "I'm gonna go down to the bar and get like all these chicks, and I'm gonna get drunk and whatever, and you guys aren't invited because I'm doing this handstand." That's right, so low.
and then there's this one line where he says कि I'm like your Yoda. It's just that I'm awesome, so I'll be like, I'm your broda.
Yeah, instead of being short and green, I'm tall and awesome.
Yes. And then there's this line, Marshall, that says, he says कि the only people who don't like Star Wars are the people who acted in Star Wars because they lived them, right? They lived them.
Nice, you remember, man.
I'm doing a rewatch of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, you poor thing.
So the I'm Your Father twist, again, spoilers for a movie that came out 40 years ago. I saw it before because it was parodied in Toy Story 2. There is Zurg and Buzz Lightyear who are fighting, and Buzz falls from the lift, and Zurg looks at him and he says, "I am your father." So when I actually and I saw Toy Story 2 when I was like 10, 11 years old. So a few years later, when I actually saw Empire Strikes Back and that scene came, I was like, oh, so that this is what they were parodying.
Wait, they copied Toy Story
25 years ago. बहुत ही unrelated, but this happened with me. अच्छा, by any chance आपने वो देखी है मैंने प्यार क्यों किया?
Of course,
सलमान खान की.
Just chill.
Not the movie I was expecting to be mentioned on a Star Wars podcast, but sure.
Hey, you don't know Salman made a cameo in Star Wars? Huh?
Yeah, what was he
He's
playing?
one of the stormtroopers. Right. Like Daniel Craig and him. It was just that.
So, उस movie की ending is the ending of Friends, by the way. So जब वो एयरपोर्ट पे
okay,
जाते
right,
हैं
right.
and
Phalange.
everything that, yeah.
हाँ.
So अब वहाँ पे अरशद वारसी चिल्ला रहा है कि उसके लेफ्ट मैग व्हील में कोई दिक्कत है और ये वो, and I'm watching that movie, I'm like, oh, new movie है वो है, सब खत्म हो गया, and then after
You saw Friends.
5 years later, and now I see Phoebe shouting कि उसके
Phalange,
left phalange, yeah.
and I'm like, मुझे तो पता है क्या होने वाला है, रेचल तो उतर जाएगी plane से.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What if Star Wars were to be made in India?
No, I think the idea is, so there is a line of thinking that Star Wars actually borrows from the Indian epics.
Oh.
That there is enough of, and George Lucas
Sure.
has kind of admitted to it also. There's enough of Ramayana, Mahabharata, any Greek mythology, all of that in this. But I don't know which some Ekta Kapoor TV show tried to ape Star Wars, right? Didn't they?
What?
Like, yeah, they
Wait,
had.
was it
this-
called? Was it called?
Out of everyone,
I don't know what it was called.
I know there was a show, a sci-fi show on Indian TV called Antariksh.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So was that the one? Because that would be
No, that wasn't the one. This was a fantasy show. I don't know what it was called, but they had like Indian versions of lightsabers
I so
and
have to Google this, dude. I so have to Google this right now.
It says Antariksh Ek Prem Katha was
no,
the show's
sorry,
name. No, not this one.
there's no Prem Katha in that. But if it was to be made in India, why not? Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
so
crazy.
who would you cast as
That's a
the
good
original
question.
three?
The
Yeah,
original
Luke.
It's a
and Han.
2002 Doordarshan space fantasy also. India's answer to the Star Wars.
You know, that wasn't an answer. That was more of a question.
And guess who starred in it?
Who?
Our very own Shaktiman.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is. I think this is the one.
This one. See?
Yes,
He's
exactly.
holding a purple lightsaber.
What is the show?
If you-
India's answer to.
That's not what it was called.
now I know. Oh, it's called Aryaman Brahmand Ka Yodha.
There you go.
Aryaman Brahman
Brahmand
Ka
Ka
Yodha.
Yodha.
This rolls off the
man.
tongue.
Wait, I was just.
Who would have cast
yeah.
from today's actors?
So first three and Luke, Leia, Han, and Darth.
And Darth Vader. Who would you cast?
Okay.
Darth Vader should be Amrish Puri, I guess.
Yeah, well,
That's what I was asking.
that's-
Do we have to cast from today's actors?
I say go across, man. Go across.
Okay,
man. Yeah,
so then I would make Darth Vader Ajit.
I mean,
the villain
Hrithik-
Ajit, Loin.
You know, I would make Hrithik as Han Solo because nobody can be
yeah,
smoother
sure,
than Hrithik.
that's good.
Like, you need,
Hrithik as Han
you need
Solo.
Han dancing cool will look so cool. Like as a
Gungru
good
toot
dancer.
gaye.
You know what?
Han ke gungru toot gaye.
If we're going across the board, then young Feroz Khan as Han Solo.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yes.
The hair and all. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Who would play Luke? Luke is such a nothing. Like he's such a bland character.
Yeah.
Any of the newer guys. Ranveer Singh.
Any of the
But Varun Dhawan because
Varun
most
Dhawan,
bland is.
most-
Yeah, sure.
Siddharth Malhotra. I think
Varun
everybody
Dhawan
can
is
play
more-
a
Yeah,
bland.
anybody can play bland.
Let me do it.
Leia would be
Katrina.
No man, Katrina's too hoity-toity. Who's like
Priyanka.
No.
Anushka.
Imagine
Anushka could do.
Princess Leia doing this.
Aren't they? I mean,
Priyanka had a golden bikini scene also.
no, that's
in
that,
Dostana.
Dostana. It doesn't qualify
Oh, okay.
her for that. I don't hate to be an ageist, but I think Carrie Fisher was like in her early 20s when she played.
So Alia Bhatt is what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I mean, sure.
Fun. I did early 20s and we named an actress who's 30 now.
It's okay. She looks young enough.
Oh, she's my age, yeah, Alia Bhatt.
Yeah. Are you having a midlife crisis right now?
No, I'm thinking
You
I
also
could have
want to
had a
get married to Ranbir
chance.
Kapoor now?
I could have had a chance.
No, Antariksh, no. We can
You guys
assure
don't
you.
know. You don't know how awesome my life is. Okay. Have you ever played any of the Star Wars video games?
I'm not a big video game guy, so I haven't
Okay.
really played. But back when I had a PlayStation 1, I had a Star Wars racing game. I
Okay.
forgot what it was called. The premise was quite interesting. It was racing, but in only in Mos Eisley, which was the gangster this thing. So you had to bet on who will win the race, and then you would have to essentially play the race. And if you won, you got points, and if you
What is it
didn't,
called again? Rogue Squadron, no?
I don't remember what it was called. It was not a very popular game. It was a racing game on the PS1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I have played like a few. Man, I'm trying to find this.
You know what I've done though? I've
Yeah.
seen playthroughs on YouTube, like just as videos of Star Wars.
People playing Star Wars
People
games.
playing Star Wars game or Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The new Fallen Order game looks excellent.
Really
by
good,
the way.
yeah,
Looks
yeah,
like badass. It looks like the best Star Wars game ever made. But I remember playing back in the day Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 was a game.
Okay.
And you could play as an actual Jedi Padawan, one of the few who survived the
The
Clone
Order
Attack.
66.
The
Yeah,
Order
yeah,
66.
yeah.
And and then like you get to use force powers and like lightsabers and shit. And this is what gameplay looks like. It's actually like a third person action thing game.
Okay.
And like back in 1995 or 1997 when this came out was bloody amazing when it came out. So that was pretty cool.
So I had some games on my playlist. Playlist कह रहा हूँ. On my list.
PlayStation.
On my list.
Oh, okay.
On my list, and I was like, पापा ऐसा है एक PlayStation ले लेते हैं. कह रहे मैथ्स की किताब ले दूँ. तो that day I knew कि कभी PlayStation नहीं आने वाला लाइफ में.
Correct. Absolutely.
And since then till today I've never like कभी PlayStation ही नहीं खेला है मैंने आज.
You could have just said, I haven't played. Why do you tell us a sad story of back in the day, my dad would never let me play games.
And I was bad at maths.
तो ऐसा भी नहीं कि मैथ में अच्छे नंबर आ गए तो as a gift my dad gave me a PlayStation. No.
He was so sure कि मेरे नहीं आएंगे मैथ्स में. उन्होंने ब्राइब करने का कोशिश भी नहीं किया. That bad.
Did you, Abbas, ever attend like any fandoms and all?
Not any of the major ones that happen abroad, but
I mean, yeah.
like the last
Comic-Con
couple of
would be
years.
difficult to get to, I guess.
Last couple of years, Geek Fruit, which is a group of
Yeah, it's our
indie
podcast.
musicians who used
the
to
Geek
do
Fruit
a
podcast,
podcast here at IVM. They did 2 Star Wars celebrations, but I did Star Wars based stand up actually, and it was really
cool.
fun. Me and Naveen Arona.
Hey, nice.
We did Star Wars based stand up. So
Is Naveen also a big fan of Star Wars?
yes,
Oh,
Naveen
yeah.
is also a big fan of
Oh,
Star
nice.
Wars.
Incredible.
Too late. You could have called him today, but.
You could have told us, Abbas.
And they're doing one this year as well on the 7th because 4th of May, which is considered which is when this episode is going out 4th of May.
Yeah.
May the 4th is a weekday. We're doing it on a weekend at Above the Habitat, and there's a script reading of the very first Star Wars film that came out in 1977, and I am voicing Darth Vader. So please come.
So 3 lines.
Actually, you know what? You think he's such a big villain and he's such a presence.
Correct.
But he has like
6
literally
minutes or
17
something,
lines in
Yeah,
the whole film
exactly, yeah,
or
very
something.
cool.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I get to say, I find your lack
You get to
of
breathe
faith.
a lot. Let's do your breathing.
I asked
What's
them,
your
like,
best-
should I run up and down the stairs to breathe? They're like, no, we'll provide it from in the background.
Oh,
I was like,
Arey, what's that? That's fake. Yeah? Like, let's see you try the breathe. Let's see you try.
I breathe enough.
No, like
One of the complaints that Tejas, the sound engineer, had before was like, we can hear your breathing on the mic. Please don't breathe
no.
as much.
Can you try your best?
I know,
Darth
Antariksha, I'm trying to make a joke.
Vader? Well, it's not working, Abbas.
Oh, he's laughing.
No, he's laughing at it not working.
This is where the sound guys insert the breathing.
Oh yeah, so correct. Yeah, Oh, that was so accurate, Abbas. Or man, what a terrible. That was shit.
I know.
Just put him like a dog panting sound effect.
That was my breathing.
And you call yourself a Star Wars fan, bro? Like what? What?
He's playing Darth Vader. He has his lightsaber, and then he
Yeah.
does.
Tired Darth Saber.
Let the music.
So what would you say is your most favorite thing in all of Star Wars?
Favorite thing?
Yeah, like favorite piece of content, like movie,
okay.
favorite. maybe Mandalorian is a favorite.
कुछ भी.
Actually,
I can
character
name
is too
one
narrow.
of each of these.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, favorite movie then.
Favorite movie would be the original one, the one that
77.
came out in 1977, which
Yeah.
is now known as
New
Episode
Hope.
4, New Hope.
Yeah.
Favorite character? It's a difficult one because it keeps changing. But
Okay.
within the movies, I would say Darth Vader is my favorite character. When I say Darth Vader, like everything from baby Anakin to adult Anakin to him becoming Darth Vader to like when he dies,
Throwing
the
Palpatine
last
away.
few moments of him. And non-movie characters would be Ahsoka Tano, who's now going to get her own TV show as well. So yeah.
Okay, and from the shows.
And you know, from the comics, there's 2 characters which the episode of The Mandalorian that Taika Waititi directed, he kind of made a reference to this. There are 2 characters who are only in the comics so far. They're called Tag and Bink.
Okay.
Okay, they are 2 stormtroopers who are not good at their job. and they somehow.
Is that the one who hit his
I've
head?
heard about
I mean,
this.
yeah, there are
Yes.
They could
multiple
have retconned
theories
that, no?
because they somehow some comic book writer wrote it, and maybe his inspiration was Stormtrooper who bumps his head.
That's the funniest
But
thing.
but Tag and Bink, there is this comedy comic books where the events of Star Wars are happening, and they are in the middle of it, and they are so incompetent that they always run into trouble and they get out of it.
Oh, that's so funny.
So those two characters are also one of my favorites.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Will they ever be in live action?
I'm pretty sure. So Taika Waititi is directing a Star Wars film. Apparently, it's
Oh.
not been announced which one.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe he's making it on the two
But
of them.
is
these
it
two.
another episode or just another Star Wars story like Rogue One?
We don't know. The Star Wars film slate right now is in a bit of a bother because
Yeah.
the TV shows are doing extremely well,
And
and
the episode
theatrical
9,
movies in general in Hollywood are going through a bad phase
correct.
right
And
now.
episode 9 wasn't as well received, if I'm not wrong, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well.
अच्छा
Oh,
जैसे Star Wars has stood the test of time. It's
Right.
like 45 years.
Right.
मतलब do you think कि इंडिया में there would be ऐसा कुछ फ्रेंचाइजी जो will stand the test of time और probably जिसको हम इतना great कह सकते हैं कि we dedicate an entire
No, form their own nerd culture around that.
exactly.
But that I would argue that already has happened. So in India, our superheroes were our heroes, right?
Sure.
Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra, whoever you want to pick and say.
Yeah.
So you can argue almost that all through the 70s and bit of the 80s, Amitabh Bachchan's Angry Young Man was the craze for that was almost as big as your Star Wars, because the moment Amitabh Bachchan movie would open, it was crazy. And you go one step further, look at Rajnikant. Rajnikant's films till this day open huge. Okay, and they are, and if you see him in his films, it's all de-aging and everything, cutting edge technology. He's still playing essentially this similar kind of characters he used to play in the 80s and 90s. So he's a franchise unto himself. Whatever he does, he's going to get a massive opening. So, will there be a film franchise? I don't know now. I mean, as we are speaking, Heropanti 2 is playing.
Oh God, I saw it on shit, I saw it on Sunday.
Best movie.
So I don't know franchise, but in our country, the hero is the franchise. So whatever, I mean, Salman Khan essentially plays Salman Khan in all the films.
Yeah,
so he is the franchise.
So again, अभी भी the conclusion is कि एक तरफ पूरा Star Wars, एक तरफ
Rajnikant.
But actually, I think Houseful.
No.
There are 9 Star Wars movies. There are about 5 Housefuls already.
Golmaal also.
No, please.
Golmaal 4 है ना? 4
Fifth Golmaal आने वाली है.
आने वाली है?
हाँ, they've teased it.
Wow, yeah.
Is Rohit Shetty directing?
Yeah.
Why?
He's doing Cop Universe and Golmaal Universe.
Golmaal Universe.
There'll be a crossover between Cop Universe and Golmaal Universe at some point.
हाँ, there has been. आपने सिम्बा नहीं देखी?
गुलमाल वाले भी
Not
आते हैं उसमें.
Suryavanshi, right?
सिम्बा में.
Not that I've seen any of these.
सिम्बा में अरशद वारसी, this guy तुषार कपूर.
But not Ajay Devgan because that would be confusing. Singh
तो
Awan.
So Simba is a crossover with Golmaal.
नहीं, it's not Simba.
Why is Arshad Varsi in it?
No, those characters just come,
I'll
make a
tell
cameo.
you. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So there's this song ना, आँख मारे हो लड़की आँख मारे. That is वो originally अरशद वारसी का गाना है.
Okay.
तो उसका रीमेक किया एंड नाउ क्योंकि रोहित शेट्टी कर रहा था तो उस गाने की पूरी फिल्मिंग में गोलमाल की कास्ट आती है एंड दे टीज द 5th गोलमाल.
Oh God. Take that, Marvel, with your post-credit scenes. we plug the movie in the song in another movie.
एंड उस
And
सॉन्ग
plug the previous movie
में
also.
एंड उस सॉन्ग में दे सेट दिस अब तुषार कपूर की आवाज में एंड द एंटायर कोरस
Oh God. You could have watched Star Wars earlier rather than watching this shit.
All right, I think we have.
Wait, you
that's
guys also should tell me what's your favorite piece of Star Wars content.
Oh, I would actually say the Clone Wars, the second series,
The animated
show,
Right.
the second one, not the first one. The first one, the artwork is great in first, but second one has more 3D animation.
Right.
So the fight choreography is some of the best in all of animation. So the fights look incredible in 3D, the way they do it. And 3D animation is very difficult to get right. Like very, very often it looks very bad. Like nowadays when anime do 3D animation on Netflix and all, it looks terrible, dude. Doesn't look as good. But Star Wars nailed it. And it still holds up, I would say. So that's what I like.
I think for me, my favorite character would be Yoda because उस मतलब the impact मतलब हम लोग स्कूल में और ये सब हम फन करने के लिए this exam I will fail. हम ऐसे ही बात करने लग गए थे. तो I think Yoda for sure.
Nice.
There's an episode of Saturday Night Live. So Andy Samberg used to do this segment called "Get in the Cage" with Nicolas Cage. Okay, and he would call like another actor. Like on this particular episode was Liam Neeson.
Okay.
Sitting next to him. It's a weekend update segment. Okay, and one of the jokes he makes is so basically you played characters like Qui-Gon Jinn and Ra's al Ghul, which happens to be the names of 2 of my 3 undescended testicles. But it's so funny the way he says it. Very funny names, Qui-Gon Jinn and Ra's al Ghul. And Liam Neeson. All right. That brings us to the end of this part of the episode. We'll be right back after this very short break with some awesome recommendations. So please stay tuned.
Have you ever wondered where the business world is headed? How the ways in which we create, market, and sell to consumers will evolve? Or if we'll ever go back to wearing pants while working? For answers to all of this and more, tune into Advertising is Dead with me, Varun Dugirala. Every Tuesday, as I talk to entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers from across business, media, marketing, and beyond. You can catch all episodes of Advertising is Dead on the IBM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from.
So after this fun episode on Star Wars and उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा Bollywood का नमक, we are back with some awesome recommendations. Antriksh bhai, you'll go first.
Yes, sir. I would like to recommend a comic channel. So basically, before this, I have previously recommended a channel called Comic Storian.
Okay.
And Comics Explain. I think I recommended both of them in the same week because both are very similar channels. Basically, they break down comic books, like ongoing issues or like entire collections which have like already ended. They'll dramatize those. They'll show you the panels.
Oh, nice.
They'll erase out the text so that they don't have copyright issues and all. And then they'll like read the entire comic out for you, man. It's damn cool. Okay, then they'll like have voices
Nice.
and all, people doing voices. It's damn cool. So another channel I found like that, which is another great channel, dude. It's called Comic Breakdown. So it's a very easy recommendation. Comic Breakdown. It's very new. It has only 25.4k subscribers. So join them early and check them out.
Yeah,
Comic Breakdown.
nice.
Bas.
I would like to recommend a Netflix original film. It's called Apollo 10.5.
Oh, I've seen the thumbnail.
Yes. The full title is Apollo 10.5: A Space Age Childhood. So it's directed by Richard Linklater of...
Is it anime?
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
So it's directed by Richard Linklater. It's who's made Before Sunrise, the Before trilogy,
Yeah.
and Boyhood. So Richard Linklater made 2 films early on in his career. One was called Waking Life, and the other was called A Scanner Darkly, where if you see the film, the visuals look cartoonish, but then they use this technology called rotoscoping, which is that in Scanner Darkly, if it's Keanu Reeves on screen, he'll look animated, but he'll still look like Keanu Reeves.
It's like it is actually Keanu Reeves acting.
Yes.
Just as like an overlay on his body, which is
But
seems
it'll look like it's been
animated,
sketched
yeah.
and painted over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this movie is also shot in the same format, and the reason for that is, as the film, the title suggests, a space age through childhood, is it's Richard Linklater's own childhood memories. It's about this young boy growing up in a suburban American household, and how his imagination is culminating with the first moon landing.
Oh.
So that is the context in which he's shot this film, and subsequently there is a storyline going on in this child's imagination where NASA has incorporated him to do the trial run to go on the moon before the actual mission. So the 2 tracks run parallelly, where and the voiceover is done by Jack Black. Who also starred in School of Rock, made by Richard Linklater.
Oh, School of Rock is Richard Linklater?
Yes.
Oh, what? I love that movie, dude.
So it's Apollo 10.5 is one of the best films I've seen about childhood, which is saying something, considering this guy also made Boyhood, which is also one of the best films about childhood. So wonderful movie. Scanner Darkly and Waking Life came out in the early 2000s. So that rotoscoping technology, he has kind of perfected it now. So when you see it now, even though it looks animated, but it's also somehow very real.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So check it out. It's, I think, a 2-hour film, or I think it's not 2 hours. It's 1 hour 30 minutes.
About
so
an hour.
fairly short, and just wonderful to look at, and kind of a feel good film.
It sounds
So,
great
yeah.
to me, man. Yeah.
I swear,
Yes,
yes. Next watch.
Absolutely love. Scanner Darkly, firstly, I cannot recommend enough, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
really
a
good.
fantastic movie. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out also. What about you, man, Snehal? What's up?
My recommendation would be Biswa's new set that's called Strong Pessimist.
You saw it live.
Yeah, I saw it
Just
live. I saw
yesterday?
it yesterday. Yes, and
Damn.
I don't think I've laughed that hard in the longest of whiles. He'll be performing live, and he says that he'll record it and then make it into a special. But कहीं भी अगर आपको पता लगे that Biswa is gonna perform this set,
Make sure
do watch it.
Yeah.
It's
He
too
is
funny.
too funny.
It's
He is-
too funny. Yes.
He's very, very funny. Very funny. And
Funnier than
consistent.
his other show, which was called I forgot what it was called.
Sushi.
Yes.
No,
Sushi.
okay, that's the one with Sumuki.
No.
No.
He's
It's-
done
it's
two
a special,
specials. Yeah.
Sushi is
Sushi,
a
the previous
special.
special. Yeah.
So पहले था मस्त आदमी, then था
Yes,
Sushi,
yeah.
Yeah, correct.
and now I think he's gonna turn Strong Pessimist also into
It
a
was special.
special.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's the way to do it. These comedians.
I know, right? With their fancy deals.
I know. Assholes. No,
For getting
fucking
all
love
these
this one.
deals.
Yeah. For being successful
For being
and rubbing it in our faces by showing up on Amazon Prime. Jerks. But ये क्या Netflix पे डालेगा इस बार के Amazon पे डालेगा?
I don't know.
You would
So
upload it.
I don't know if this is the platform to discuss it, but there's a huge churn happening in the comedic community about
Yeah.
where to put what special
Yeah.
on what streaming
Correct,
website.
correct.
Kunal
So, yeah.
Kamra put his entire special on
On
YouTube.
YouTube,
na?
yeah.
Like जाके सब
So
देखो.
a lot of them are realizing that YouTube is the best platform.
Yeah,
to put
they're
it on.
realizing after the whole Schultz and Mark Norman and all that, I think that has some part to play in
That
this.
is all US comedians. I'm talking
No,
about
I know,
strictly
but,
Indian
but
comedians
it's
also.
possible that we are seeing the pattern from there. And
Yeah,
they're
it's
like-
possible. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But so let's say since you're the only non-comedian on the panel, if let's say a comedian puts out a special on YouTube, what's the most and it's pay as you like. What is the number where you feel कि हाँ मैं इतने पैसे दूंगा मैं स्पेशल देखने के लिए 1 घंटे का स्पेशल?
I think abhi the Indian audience will not pay for a special.
No,
on
I'm
YouTube.
talking about you. Fucking
Acha,
Indian
I
audience.
I will to pay. I'll pay around like 100, 200. I think.
Fuck, I thought you were gonna say 500. The way he started, like, I'll give.
So मैं movies और वो YouTube पे around 25 rupees से 125 rupees में rent हो जाती है.
Right.
तो I think when it comes to a special also, I think ये amount would be like, मतलब I won't think twice to give this amount. Is what I'm saying.
199 you'll pay.
I'll pay
299.
Now
They
I'll
abhi
think.
de.
Now I'll think.
So 299 you'll think.
Yeah, 299 I'll think.
350.
But नहीं उस time पे I'll not think.
250 is the sweet spot, I
250
think.
is the
Yeah.
I guess
spot, yes.
we figured it out. All right, that brings us to the end of this episode. Sorry, we're having to end a little abruptly. I know, because we have another recording right after this. So thank you for tuning in, Abbas. Where can people follow you on?
You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @AbbasMomin, and my handle on Instagram is AbbasMomin88. If you're one of those who's still using Facebook, please search for Abbas Momin Comedian, and my page will show up. So yeah.
Okay, sure. And YouTube? Not yet.
Yes, please follow my YouTube channel.
exactly,
as well. It's just that I haven't put anything up for a long while. But yes, do check Abbas Momin on YouTube. You'll find my channel, and there are some videos on there. But
And more will be
and
coming.
more will be coming soon. Yes,
absolutely. And that's it for this episode. Snehal, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Antriksh,
thank you.
thanks to myself also. I'll see you guys next week.
Hey,
Bye bye.
May the 4th
Be
be
with
with
you.
May the 4th be with you. Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hello. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Storytellers and Storysellers, Vineet meets the CEO of Slum Soccer, Dr. Abhijit Barse, the inspiration behind the film Jhund. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus talks to Shriram, Shreyas, and myself, Silvery. They discuss the thieves of Sangli who use an excavator to dig out an ATM machine. On The Habit Coach, Ashton tells us how we can make being bold a part of our personality. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav deep dives into Mughlai cooking with a biryani versus pulao debate. I'd be interested in that. And on Hanswani, hear the story Antibodies, exploring men's tendency to avoid responsibility and blame fate. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, do tell a friend. It really helps us out a lot. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on, and you can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, India Water Portal, and Jupiter, a digital banking app.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.